These are inspired by a plate one of my parents picked up a while back. It's an older plate and it's got this interesting design on it that looks something like these. Throw up a picture of it here. I kind of looked at it and realized that it was a fairly simple design really once you broke it down. And made these up. Decided to make a few more. So what I'm using is just scrap metal. This is faceplate of an old barbecue. No idea on gauge, but it's you know, not terribly thick, but it's not, you know, tin foil either. I just use the bottom of this can as a size reference. I think for the big one I used like furniture polish can. Anyway, just whatever you got laying around, or you could use a proper, you know, circle drawing compass. That's what word I was looking for. If you want to do this properly. I haven't done any measurements since I started this. Anyway, just mark it out. You can use a paint pen or a Sharpie. I just scratched it with a piece of coat hanger. Cut it out however you want to. Plasma cutter would be so quick. I can't wait to get mine set up, but tin snip to do the job. Once you got that, clean it up. Now, if you want the surface to be perfect, use a flat disc. I actually kind of like this texture, so I just used a regular grinding wheel on the angle grinder. And for holding these down, see if I can do this one-handed here. I've actually been using the plow blade of our snow plow. Set that there. Clean up the rough edges, any nastiness, get the surface down, completely grind away any surface rust you might have, and then it'll look like that. Next thing we're going to need is coat hangers. I'm not even going to try and show this with one hand, but take a coat hanger and some pliers and just grab that, spin that, untwist that, and then straighten these out with the pliers. Use a hammer and an anvil to straighten them dead straight or get it pretty close to just the pliers or even just your fingers. We're going to need a few of those. We're also going to need to strip the paint off. I just use the angle grinder again and vice grip it to the plow, and then I can hold the end of it and just clean it up. So. Alright, so here's a coat hanger after straightening, clipping, and a quick cleaning. See I missed a couple of spots. Start with one of these. Now the pattern we're going for here is basically kind of a Starfleet thing, I guess. You can do just an outside triangle or a triangle with a little one in here. See what I'm talking about. I don't want to say a cursor, only look at one section of it. I'm going to go with these. So it should stick out a bit on either side, so I'm going to go ahead and say bend it there. Tough hand. You can also use a cutoff wheel for this. I'll probably go back to that once I've got the camera set down. And then figure out where the hell that went. Okay, so here it is spread back out, kind of set in place. See what we're going for here. We just need 3 more of these. A little better cleaning on these. Alright, so you can see that ate pretty much the whole coat hanger. Got 4 little angles here. These should all look just about the same. You can see I got to stretch this one a little. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these up here with a hammer. Get these really tight and spread them out again. I kind of like the look of that better than the I used to be a coat hanger look. Alright, so here we go. Now the way this is going to work, I'm going to take this, basically going to put it together something like that. Now I'm looking at this and thinking that these need to be spread just a wee bit. I think that'll look alright. You can mess around with this all you want. Scratch paper might also be helpful. Don't have to put much heat into these. Flip it over, weld the other side, weld the next one the same, set them on top of each other. There you go. All welded up. You can see it makes a lot of black stuff on it. I don't know if that's from the wood burning and sooting up, or I just didn't get all the paint off, or grade of steel, or the welder just isn't getting the gas out quick enough at this flow rate, and these short of tack welds. Anyway, yeah, just short, quick tack welds does the trick. I've got this thing set maybe a little hot for this. I'm thinking if I did this in brown and these in green, it would kind of look like pine needles. Or maybe if I did this in yellow and these in green, or just clear coated that, or I don't know, sort of a pine needles and a moon or something. I don't know. Might come back to that later. I almost forgot one last step here. Let's figure out a good way of attaching it to this. Now, I could just lay this on here and tack weld it, but I want to paint this a different color, so that's not going to work. Could just JB weld it, but not too hot on that idea. So, got some more coat hanger here left over. What I'm going to do is just weld it up there and there, and just cut it off short, and then set this over that, pound it a couple times. It'll give me indents, punch them through with a scratch awl, and then I'll have a really easy way to locate it, stick it through, and then I can just JB it from the back and it won't look all gloppy. Trim that down later. Yeah, we've all got mounting legs on them. Notice they're all a little different as to where they are. It's partially because I'm not terribly consistent. Also because I'm going to be punching out these 3 separate plates for these 3, and if I can't tell them apart, I'm going to have a little bit of trouble reassembling them, figuring out which one's supposed to go with which. So the more different they are, the easier it's going to be for me. And yeah, so now I just got to figure out how to mount them. Okay, so now I have to make the holes in this to mount this too. And basically, I'm just going to lay it on, see where it looks about good. And it looks about good to me. And then take a hammer. Okay, see that's made a little divot in it. And then, let's just kind of eyeball that. Now this slot in like so. It doesn't look right. Let's have it on upside down. Excellent. Cool. So the metalworking is pretty much done, except I just noticed a bit of coat hanger paint I didn't get off. It's mocking me. Anyway, grind that off real quick. And then make these like these. Well, not exactly like these, but kind of like this. Alright, so I got them all laid out, face down. I'm going to do the backs first. You can just see I'm using basic car primer here. Try and make sure you've got as much of this, might give this another go with the wire brush. It's tough to get them perfect because they got all these nooks and crannies in them, but like that one I think I can get a little better. So I got 2 coats of primer on these things, one on the back, one on the front. Did find a few BBs that I missed and peeled off after spraying. I've got them here under basically a heat gun. A heat gun would probably be better. This is out of an old space heater. Nice thing about matte paints like primers, you can tell when they're dry because that sheen goes away. The question is, how to paint these up, because I got them primered. For the first 3 I did, of which this is one, I had, well, I've been working from another picture, and so I basically knew what colors I was looking for. From here on out, though, I'm on my own. So I thought, I painted this bit white instead of black, and then, because, you know, black looks good on maybe sort of pastel colors, but what if I want to use brighter colors? Alright, so they're all painted, and they're all mocked up here. So, just mount them up. Take off the excess mounting there. Get yourself up some J&B weld.